This is sure a beautiful campus to come to work to every day.
It is. I love it, and I just love being here with the students each day. It's just such a great place to work, to see the life that's on campus and what's going on with the faculty.
Oh, wonderful. Now, Trinity Christian School is a real gem here in Kailua, one of 2 accredited independent schools in this area. What makes it unique or special?
Probably just the family environment, that families feel like they can be involved. And in fact, that's very intentional on our part. By virtue of that, we just have a lot of activities and other things that we do just in the regular course of instruction where parents are involved. And that's paramount in importance to us.
That's actually a real benefit for the parents too, right? I mean, it's fun to be at your child's school and engaged in what they're doing. You've shared some of the convictions that you have personally that have transferred very well to your ideas about running the school. Tell us about that.
We express them here at our school in terms of convictions. You could call them core values. There's 4 that we point to. We teach Christian worldview in our thinking, gospel in our motivation, also classical in our method, and partnered with parents in our community. So those are our 4 convictions.
Expand on the classical teaching method. What does that mean exactly?
When we expanded to a secondary school, the decision was made to switch to a classical model of education, and which makes us very distinct in the school environment here in Hawaii. In fact, in Oahu, we're the only classical school. Classical is a style of education that has been done for centuries, but we don't do it because it's old. We just do it because we feel that it is really the best method for educating children, as many have discerned through, again, the centuries. We look at many of the great minds in American history and world history and how they benefited from a classical style of education. And it involves a number of different things. For one, it is the integration of subjects according to a timeline, but we integrate literature and history and Bible and other subjects according to that timeline. And part of that also is the study of Latin, beginning in 2nd grade all the way through 11th grade. So those are components of classical, but another aspect is just the different stages that has been gleaned through the centuries in terms of how best students learn. And we call those stages the grammar stage, which corresponds to elementary years, and the logic stage and the rhetoric stage for the high school years. The grammar stage, that is a time when children just love to memorize. We give it to them in chants, we make it fun for them, and so they'll sing and recite a lot of what they're learning and give them a sense of accomplishment, which they enjoy at that age. When they get into the middle school years, they begin to question everything. They begin to question what they're learning and their parents and authority, and so we teach them how to question appropriately. We teach them actually formal logic, and we teach them logical fallacies, and we teach them how to argue and argue rightly, appropriately, and effectively. And then rhetoric stage in high school, where they really hone their skills in speech and writing and just other forms of expression, where they are taking all the usual subjects, but they're in the process of doing that, we're really focusing on their ability to speak and write beautifully, effectively, whimsically. It's really amazing what they're able to accomplish when we devote some energy and effort towards that kind of instruction. Once they've had this classical education, one of the capstones is they'll go on a trip to Europe for 2 weeks. And it's really the culmination in many ways of their study of Western classics and literature and history and so forth, and to see it come to life when they go to Europe and they see what they've been studying all these years. So that's really part of our curriculum. It's part of our tuition. We're committed to taking all of our graduates to Europe for 2 weeks in their senior year. Another one that is really a capstone and a requirement for graduation is a thesis presentation. They pick a controversial subject and they study that, they write about it, and they have to memorize a 20-minute presentation in front of a public audience, which then is followed by another 20 minutes of being grilled by a panel of judges. Something which I never did until, really, in fact, not something quite like that until my master's program, my master's thesis defense, and we're asking our high schoolers to do that.
Talent is an invention, like phlogiston after the fact of fire.
I love Trinity. I love the education, the classical education that they provide for us, and that it's unique. I mean, this is the only school in the state where you can get that.
What type of student do you hope Trinity graduates?
Well, we want students who love the Lord their God, that love other people and love learning, and we want them to use the skills that we give them really to impact the cultures around them, this culture here in Hawaii, and have an impact on this community with an eye and a passion for serving others, really so important to us.
So our science teacher, Ms. Jackson, who actually used to work in the White House, approached us with an idea for our science fair projects to engineer a pathway from our Mackay campus down to Kainui Marsh. And after we finished the science fair, we thought, why not turn it into a service project instead of just a science fair project? And it's something that the community can use as well, not just the students. I've come to really enjoy doing service projects at school, but I wish we had the opportunity to do more of them throughout the year. So for example, this summer I actually had the opportunity to participate in a servant leadership program, and one of the things we did was feeding the homeless, and I thought that was really fun and cool to do.
Do students at Trinity Christian School have the opportunity to compete in sports as well?
Oh yes, in fact, a number of sports. Elementary has sports as well, but our secondary school, we have soccer, basketball, and volleyball. We participate in a league with other Christian schools, and it's a great league, and we do really well in the league. But one thing that's really great is our students can participate usually in multiple sports. In fact, in addition to sports, there's also some extracurricular activities where we have drama. Debate is another one of our classes here, and students end up traveling. And a lot of times these are students who will play 2, maybe 3 sports, and then also do drama and also do debate, and so there's just tremendous opportunity for them. So loved not only doing the job, but just being part of the community and part of the events that go on here. Recently we had a biathlon, and it's a requirement for our 7th and 8th graders. It's actually quite rigorous. They go 6 in the morning, they start, and they swim 600 yards down Kailua Beach, and then they run 3 miles around Lanakai Loop, and all of our middle schoolers need to do this to pass. And it was just such a beautiful event to see the students cheering on each other and to see parents supporting their children. And these sort of things just caused my heart to swell. And we were just so privileged to be part, even just to be witnesses to what's going on here, and to see families blessed and to see lives changed.